Continues now. Good evening, and thanks for staying with us at 7:30. Tonight, blunt words from Charlotte's Mayor Pro Tem reacting to a man who died in CMPD custody. This happened in June of last year. 32-year-old Javante Williams was placed in handcuffs after officers responded to a call about a shooting. WBTV's chief investigative reporter Nick Oxner went to court and pushed to get the body camera video you're seeing here released to the public. While in custody, Williams starts struggling to breathe. 22 minutes went by before paramedics responded. Williams died hours later. At the time, CMPD, Charlotte Fire, and medic released little information about what happened. New tonight, we heard from Charlotte Mayor Pro Tem Braxton Winston, who saw the body camera footage.
My concern is that we need to look at our first response models in general and see how do we better serve the people of our community when they call us for help.
Well, that's my question. If I live in the city of Charlotte, should I feel that an EMT is going to get me to the hospital as quickly as I need to? Should I feel comfortable at the level of first response we have in this community?
Well, it's very interesting, Nick. I have a lot of questions about that. I don't want to be presumptuous in putting any blame on somebody, but I certainly have questions and concerns.
Yeah, something tells me this is going to come up at future Charlotte City Council committee meetings. Our chief investigative reporter Nick Oxner joins us here live in studio. Appreciate your time. Important reporting that you've done on this. So a man dies in police custody. Just kind of the nut of it. What went wrong here?
Well, interesting what didn't go wrong. Let's start there. Can we back up half a second?
Sure.
Police identified this man was in some sort of distress before they ever even physically, they were responding to a call, the man shooting a gun, trying to get into a house. You can see it on the body camera. They figure out that he's not armed, that he doesn't have a gun on his possession, figure out he's acting erratically. You hear him on the body camera, but again, before they ever tackle him, saying it could be some sort of excited delirium or something. So CMPD identifies there's a problem. They call for medic minutes before they even tackle him to the ground. The issue here really was then the medical response, because when CMPD tackled him, he's on his stomach, it's called the prone position for 20 seconds, and then they roll him on his side to what's called the recovery position. Allows you to breathe better, recover from being in the prone position. That's everything officers were supposed to do. They called for medic, and then they waited. And basically, that 22 minutes is all of what went wrong after that.
So Charlotte Fire showed up first, right?
Yeah, so this is under the delayed response model that medic now uses most of the time. So because police called for medic to come, they dispatch, instead of sending an ambulance right away, they dispatch a fire truck. And under this model, by design, no ambulance gets in the queue or anything. They just send a fire truck. It took about 10 minutes for the fire truck to get there. And when they got there, they told medic, well, you can respond non-emergency, so no lights and sirens. And then stood there as this man struggled to breathe.
Going back to the arrest itself, I know you talked to some experts about that. There didn't seem to be anything that wouldn't follow policy about the way they handcuffed him, the way they handled it.
No, again, and that's really important. We scrutinized this fully. They arrest him. He's in the prone. They put him on his side. The prone, if you're left in the prone position too long, with your hands behind your back on your stomach, that can kill you, especially if you're in a state like Mr. Williams might have been in.
And so Charlotte Fire gets there, but they really don't do anything?
No, and so he's on his side, which will not kill you. That's the recovery position. So police do all they can do. Fire gets there. They don't check his pulse. They don't try to monitor his blood oxygen saturation. They don't put an oxygen mask. By the time he got to the hospital in an ambulance, he was bagged. You know, he was getting help breathing. He could not breathe on his own.
Is there finger pointing going on here? Charlotte Fire saying one thing, medic saying another.
Yes, I mean Charlotte Fire essentially. I haven't said this in a statement, but you know, kind of the word that's getting out is, look, we're just called to make sure he's stable and ready for transport. It took medic, you know, so long to get an ambulance here. They haven't really explained why the firefighters on scene didn't even check for pulse and why they downgraded the medic response to non-emergency. Meanwhile, medic is saying, look, we had this delayed response. Fire was there. They're EMTs. They have advanced life-saving equipment, and they told us to come non-emergency.
And now that you've done this investigation, they are looking into how they reacted to these.
Both agencies jointly have confirmed just last week a formal review process. They tell me that it started in July. No one heard about it until Thursday.
You talked to Braxton Winston there. We just saw the little soundbite from him there. Obviously concern and questions that he's asking. Is the community's watching tonight? Should they be worried that the ambulance may not race to their house with the lights and sirens going?
Well, certainly, I think a fair and valid question. We have a model in this town now where ambulances routinely do not get dispatched immediately. I mean, the first thing that the cops radioed to start the whole process was, we have someone at gunpoint, send a medic, which really implies we might shoot somebody.
Right.
And that didn't trigger an ambulance, that triggered a fire truck.
Great reporting on this, important reporting, and we encourage you to go back and watch the entire thing that you did last week on our website at WBTV.com. I know you'll keep pushing for answers and see where all this goes. Nick, appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
And tell us your thoughts. You can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag OYSTonight. You can also scan the QR code that you see there on your screen. That gets you to our mobile menu where you can write us an email. Again, Nick, thank you.